obviously we had like a little talk before the space, and you talked a little bit about who you work with, and I think you have a dope story. And I think I want to go a little bit back to see like what was the process in which you started, just as a hobby, and then you had like a client, then another client, you have to hit like a big client. I just want to know what was that first big client that you worked for, how was it? Because I know you have a couple cool names in there,
Yeah.
like Dak Prescott and like Reese Witherspoon.
I had started posting it and all that kind of stuff. Whatever. Wasn't really getting anywhere, but like social media wise, like I thought I was. But and then I got in contact with Dak Prescott through my dad had coached him a few years before and mentioned like, oh yeah, my daughter, she like paints shoes, paints cleats or whatever. And so a few years go by, and then he reached out and was like, hey, do you think you could paint like 8 pairs of shoes as a Christmas gift for like my friends? And I was like, let me check my schedule, of course. So um, I went ahead and did that for him, and then he was like, well, do you think you could paint my cleats? Like, just change some of the colors and stuff on my cleats. And so he was like my first real big name project, I would say, that I had done, and kind of part of what, gave me a jump start into to the point where I am now. So, yeah, that was definitely my first big project. And so we've done a few projects since then. I do shoes for him to auction off at his gala, charity gala, like every year. So we've continued to work together, but now, Jordan, like the actual brand, like does stuff specifically for him. So we don't get to do as much like custom cleat work. But yeah, it definitely gave me a jump start to kind of all the different NFL stuff that I do now.
That's super cool. What we gotta ask though, what were those 8 shoes at first?
Oh, he was just like, I have, if y'all are familiar with which I'm not even positive I say this correct, but in my head, this is how I say it. The Ama Maniere Jordan 1s that had come out, and he
Yeah.
had, 8 pairs of those, and he was like, can you just like customize these? He didn't really have like a idea of what he wanted. He was just like, yeah, just customize them. And so I ended up doing, it's like a blue, like a navy paisley on it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's on my page. I can figure out how to put it in here somehow. But yeah, so I don't, it was just paisley, kind of western looking Ama Maniere. So
Super cool. Nah, I'm gonna go dig and try to pin them up to the top. But it's awesome that we have you in here. It seems like you've been cooking, because even last time that we talked, you definitely have had so many different designs that you put out. You were forgetting about some of the super sick ones that we were mentioning. So I'm hyped
yeah.
to have someone like you in here. But let's throw it to we've got Johnny up here. I know he's another a sneaker customizer. Johnny, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, family? Appreciate you having me up. I'm actually working on just a quick design for it real quick. Question: when you were sent the base pairs? I don't know if you were sent the base pairs or not. Not sure if the sole is going to be white. I know with soles, especially like cleats and stuff like that, it's really hard to hold paint and stuff like that. So not sure if you have like a triple white pair that you're going to be working on, or if it's going to be one of those things that's going to be based off of like final design. So like having an open sole is something that you can work with, or should you design around having a white outsole for the cleat?
Um, so I have Bijan's pair, they're still working on sending me CJ's, but I believe the plate on them is supposed to be white for CJ's. Bijan's is for sure. And that's something, it's not the best to paint it just because, like, durability wise, it doesn't last as long, but it's for, this specific game. So I would say if you want to, throw some color on it or something, that's fine. But I just wouldn't, I wouldn't be putting like logos or anything like that because that might be kind of hard to pull off on there.
Yeah, I knew Johnny would come with the specific technical questions. We definitely could use it. I think that kind of leads us into a good segue point. Jada, do you have any tips for people who are designing or creating their custom cleats for this? Because we obviously want to make sure that the people who are submitting are making it as feasible as possible while also being dope.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times when I'm designing, it's like, I'm drawing the sketch and thinking about like, okay, how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to achieve this? What am I going to have to, put a white stencil on first and then paint over it and all these things. So I think in terms of design, you just want to make sure it's not like, something that's got a million letters that are going to be microscopic and like the cutter's going to have a hard time cutting, or, things like that, or making sure that I think really as long as any logos you're putting on it are like on the bigger side, we should be okay as far as like stencils and things like that go. But yeah, you just want to be mindful of like the what am I trying to say? Like a lot of times when I'm doing cleats and stuff, the lettering ends up being white or yellow or some lighter color like that. That I can just spray underneath and then go over with a darker color, like, blue over the top and things like that. So yeah, just be mindful that it's not going to be 30,000 stencils and intricate, tiny, squiggly lines and things like that, just because of the timeline for creating these. I would love to create something super crazy, but we do have kind of a limited time track on them as well. So, yeah.
Hey, that is definitely some good tips because we do have a lot of talented creatives out here. And sometimes, you know how creatives get, they start going way outside the box. And we might not have like a set boundary on what the limits are here, but I think there's definitely designs and ideas that you want to make sure they're crafted towards what people like at the end of the day, because it's going to be CJ and Bijan that are picking these, so it's super cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. And like I think as long as you stay away from things that are like, doing checkerboard across the entire cleat or things like that, could get kind of crazy. But for the most part, I think just be creative and it'll be fine, most likely.
Well, speaking of creatives, Fred, last time we spoke, you downplayed your creative ability, saying you only animate. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this.
So yeah, that's true. I specifically animate, but I mean, I dabble in everything else. So in this challenge, like the way I've been approaching it is, again, from like my animation background, I'm thinking about the story and what kind of message we're trying to push out there. So like looking at what CJ and Bijan are promoting, it's really important to, I know when you get a project or context, you just want to dive right in and start creating, but it's also equally as important to do your research, find out like what these foundations and what they're trying to accomplish with these, with their philanthropy work. And so like for me, I would look into it and decide, like try to find a theme, look at what they've been doing, come up with a story, basically is the main goal for all of this. I know it's just a sneaker, but for me, sneakers are more than a sneaker. Like I have a pretty, I would say, decent collection of sneakers. I could probably wear one sneaker a day for a year and still not go through a full cycle. That said, I probably know exactly where I got pretty much every sneaker, and then a lot of them might have a story. Like I have like one good example would be I have just a random pair of Nike Air Pegasus, but they're specific because they have the two different camo colorways of East and West Germany. It's called the Fall of the Wall collection, and so like stuff like that I think really speaks. So how you use that in the design, it's ultimately. Oh, sorry, I'm with my child, so if you hear a little coughing, it's just my boy. Say hi, Nico. So yeah, I really look into the story, and it means a lot because again, you want something that's clean and reads and has these like messages, like for example the color, CJ's color is black and gold. Design notes, hashtag 777. Do all of you know what 777 means, right? And that's the I believe that's the prison reform bill that they are using to help people get from supervision to stability, their catchphrase. So stuff like that's really important. And then it's good to know from Jada the how complex you can get, because a lot of times you just go completely wild and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do some like graffiti here, and I'm gonna do a real like life like a real creation of like someone's face. I don't know, something really ridiculous that will take a lot of time. It's good to know that we should be a little bit more simple, but again, that also helps with the clarity of the message you're trying to sell, because if it's simple, you could read it, you want to be able to watch the game and be like, oh look, there's my sneaker, or my design, and you don't want it to be too messy. So like for me, those are the things I'm going towards. Now, I'm not a great artist personally, but the way I would approach it is also to like once I kind of have a theme going in my mind, I'll break the panels out into separate pieces. So I know we got these orthographic images, so like the side, the top, the bottom, etc. And I haven't really gotten into it too much yet, but I'm going to separate those panels up and then basically start filling them in. That's pretty much my the way I'm looking at it from a purely artistic sort of like storytelling side of it. Also, look at Jada's work, because you can also get inspiration from that. That's a lot of what I do too, is looking for motivation, inspiration, see what she's capable of doing. And I mean, I'm sure she's capable of doing anything given the time, but yeah, buddy, I know.
He said her work is fire.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty much I guess where, and then sometimes you might just want to go crazy, and I mean, you can do that too. You might not be picked, but again, the whole goal is like, this is all for a good cause. So that's why I try to just think of it. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this to help spread a message. If I win, whatever, everyone will win. That's at least my view of it.
I love it.
That work? Cool.
Oh, and I was gonna kind of piggyback on that too with the causes and everything. I think a lot of what, in my opinion, just having watched a lot of football and seen a lot of my Cleat My Cause stuff, because I've been wanting to do my Cleat My Cause for so many years. Like I feel like a lot of times there's kind of this cop out, let's just throw the bare minimum logo and just spray a bunch of different stencils over it and call it good. But I think people miss a lot of times like the opportunity to really bring you know, that awareness. And like, you know, they said earlier, this is like the 1 week where everybody is wearing custom cleats. And so what is going to be the thing that makes people say, oh, like, what is Bijan wearing? Or what is CJ wearing? What is he talking about? More than, you know, not that we're competing with other causes or anything, but, you know, you just want to make sure it's something that is different and catches the eye. And obviously I was saying, like, not to OD it, but I'd rather, you know, the designs be crazier than too safe as well. So
Jada said, "Don't hold back, y'all." She said, "Don't hold back."
Yeah, I heard that too. Love it.
Yeah, and we gotta. I got a note that we needed to clarify a little bit because Fred brought great insight, and it's I think it's probably some of the best tips I feel like could have been brought up, especially from a sneakerhead perspective. The way you talked about things and really talking about the details behind what's being put into the shoes or what these guys are requesting we put on the shoes. But one of the things that we're doing to help this initiative and spread the awareness. Some of the team also is going to be participating, and we're going to have our own little internal challenge. And there's already some competitive fire being stoked. I don't know if Tristan's in here, but I hope he doesn't submit so I can beat him, and then I can say that I beat Tristan in this design challenge by disqualification.
I will let him know you said that.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is where it's so funny for me, like coming from the perspective that I'm in. It's like I know a lot of people have been hitting me up about like this challenge and saying like it's a perfect fit for you. I'm very fortunate enough to have been in this space for as long as I have, and been fortunate enough to have been a part of this initiative many years. And you know, a lot of my friends are the ones who make these customs, and so for me, it's like I will be participating just because I want to participate as a creator, but it would bring me no more so much joy to see other community members be able to win this thing and see their work on the field for sure. So like I said, I'll participate. Like I said, I'll probably be posting my design here in the next 5 minutes, especially for CJ. But like I said, for everyone else, I please encourage you guys to at least participate, because you never know, all of a sudden a simple design or a random design might just get picked. So just encouraging everyone out there just to at least give it a try.
Yeah, big facts. And I'll let Franco go in a second, but just like Jada's story, you never know how these things can lead. So go ahead, Franco.
No, man, I just wanted to piggyback real quick on what Johnny just mentioned. I think it's really important that, you know, we get as we're gonna do it internally, even though the whole objective for us is to do something to try to beat, you know, Fred or Tristan. Our chances not that high, but we'll give it a go. We'll get some tutorials going. But just in general submissions, I think this is really dope opportunity for everyone. Um, you know, as we mentioned before, and we already know, it's like RTFKT Creators program is pretty cool because it has like a very diverse, wider artists and different genres. People are, you know, sneaker designers, but we also have musicians and we have illustrators and we have, you know, all sorts of artists. And this doesn't mean a challenge that is about sneaker design and illustration doesn't mean that it's not going to help other genres like music, for example. So having submissions here and having like a solid competition, um, it definitely helps us and you know, go at other brands or go at other people and be like, look, this that we made here with Jada, with Lockerverse, with all the creators, Artifact creators, this is pretty dope, and you know, it's something unique as well. So I think it could be cool to replicate it with other brands, and this is the first step and a way to keep doing it. So definitely, you know, amplifying what John just said in terms of the submissions and also to mention that it's been pretty dope to work with Lockerverse on it. These guys got you know, they got our culture right away, and they all about, you know, helping the art creator. And you guys can check them out. They have lockerverse.com. Besides their socials, you can check them out to see, you know, what they've been doing and, you know, like the people that have been working with them. So it's pretty dope to have this connection with them.
Yeah, Ryan, I was gonna say, what are you guys' thoughts over there with how CJ and Bijan want to get involved with this My Cleats It's My Cause challenge?
Yeah, man. So I think, especially with CJ, like he's very like hands on. He's going to be very clear about what he likes, what he doesn't like, and I would encourage everyone to spend some time just catching up on him and his story. Like he doesn't do a ton of press, but when he does, he shares the important parts of how he got here, how important his faith is to him, how important family is to him, and why this cause is important to him. And there are, some of these kind of minor details maybe that would really pop and that would really be appealing to him. I haven't really gotten to know Bijan as well as I know CJ, but from his whole team and, kind of understanding his story, I think it's a very similar thing where, if you spend some time kind of understanding his journey, understanding how important family and community are to him, there might be some little Easter eggs out there that you put into your design that really, really pop. And in general, man, like we're excited about the roster of athletes that we get to work with. And, people getting to understand them as more than just their performance on the field. Like all of these guys are elite. All of them are at the top of their game. But they've got so many other interests and so many other passions. And this is one really cool way for that to come to life. So I think it's cool that the NFL does this and that, the different players get to participate. And hopefully this becomes a thing that extends beyond, the football field. We work across all, kind of sports and all competitive spaces. Some really great talent in basketball on both the men's and women's side, and other sports. So we really think that this is the beginning of like a longer term partnership and doing really cool creative things at this intersection, for the athletes that we work with.
Yeah, it's definitely a new world too. I was a former college athlete, so I remember what it was like when you would have no branding with yourself or anything that had to do with who you are, and to see you guys working with not only just like the brand new talent, but also some college level athletes or collegiate athletes. It's super cool. So I'm excited to see what you guys do in the future. But if anybody wants to jump up, chat, ask any questions to Jada as well about design and stuff like that, definitely encourage you guys to do so, because this is the time where you can get some of those little tips. I think, even for myself, I'm already starting to rethink how I was going to do things. I feel like I might have gone a little too simple, and I might have gotten blown away by a couple of the recent designs that came out over the past few days. So yeah, excited to see what you guys cook up, though.
This is like my whole design life. It's funny, right? It's like you get told to do one thing, and then the last minute you're like, "Hey, new design guidelines and new asks." So get your ass back in that studio and start designing again. So I love the black and gold add-ons last minute with 5 days ago, but appreciate it. At least you told us before before the time window ended up.
I have a question for Jada. Just a quick one about colors being used, because as you're saying, Johnny, like gold was brought up. Is gold like how you can get paint that has like a metallic finish, like a flake almost to it? Is that something you've worked with before? And like how, like I'm just wondering, are we like kind of stuck with like more solid, colors, like primary colors, that sort of thing, or is it, as you said, we can go a little bit more wild? And same goes for the. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say no. I have gold, and so I have all the different metallics. I actually just worked with gold like earlier today, so yeah, it's definitely something that I have and have worked with. Yeah.
and the laces too. Like I know we're looking primarily at the sneaker, but what if like our design involves like the laces having a bit of color or something specific too? Is that something that you also do, or is this should we stick with the what we see in the images?
I do have like a whole wall full of like colorful laces and stuff. I know for a fact I don't have any gold laces on hand, but I do have, black and gray and every other pretty much every other color. Um so yeah, it's definitely something that like if I have it on hand we can do. It just depends, in the window of time that we have, if it was something we'd have to like Amazon overnight it or something to get the color lace you need, then we could do that too.
Cool.
Ooh, see, Fred, he's getting into the details, going for the laces and everything. I like what Johnny did. He put a few little notes in there with the 3 stars with the tongue tags. I think that was a cool little idea. And I definitely like that flow of your design that you got. Looks fire.
I mean, I think when you guys were talking about inspiration for design, again, I went on Jada's page, and one of the things even the video you guys posted, right, with her piping the edges, I'm known for doing the Stewie Griffins a lot, and so with the art style I did on the cleat, it was the exact same style I've done on so many other customs in my life, but I also saw that she did the piping on that shoe, and she did say it was one of her favorites up until this point. So again, like you guys say, drawing inspiration from not only the person, but the story behind it. And all those small little nuanced details really make what the overall story is, where you just kind of look at it and you just find something new every single time you look at it. So very important.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think we've seen quite a few, and I know there are people who are probably going to be up until the wire with it, but definitely encourage everybody to make sure that they come up with their idea and at least submit for either CJ or Bijan, because yeah, it'll be really cool to see who wins and see these on feet. And I think one of the things that we wanted to mention was a bit of the prize for the people that are going to be participating. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing for the winners is we're going to go and make sure we get signed versions of the cleats that they made from the players. So not only are you going to get your cleats worn by these guys during an NFL game, but you're also going to get same pair signed, and then you also have them for yourself. So if you got any questions, you want to jump in and chat, feel free to do so. It's going to be super fun to keep seeing these things come out. We just had Stacking Punks jump up. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy afternoon. Good afternoon. I did have a question for Jada. So I'm not anyone official in the Loud Punks community, but they are having a meeting today, and I was just speaking to one of the moderators, and they're going to be talking about apparel and Loud Punks merch that they want to start selling at Rolling Loud. So I don't know if you guys want to get in contact with someone from the Loud Punks team or Rolling Loud team. I think that would be a good collab because they're already looking at merch to start making custom made, and I think they'd be silly not to take a partnership with you. And your website's super fucking dope, by the way. I already checked it out.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to hear, what a collab would look like with, kind of in that space. So yeah, maybe we could talk more after.
For sure.
This.
I already talked to Cass. She's one of the she was actually in here for a little bit. I think she had to go, but she was interested, to say the least. So yeah, I'll definitely get in your DMs so we can talk some more.
All right. Oh. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I thought I was muted. All right, yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Damn, we can't even have Jada for 45 minutes without getting her poached. This is crazy. Like, we just wanted to make some shoes. Damn. All right, it's fine, Jada. But hey, we have Rose Jade up on stage. I know she's one that is working on something cool, and she is an amazing artist. So, Rose, I'd love to hear what you're thinking.
Oh, thank you so much, Shada, for all of the guidance. I'm a watercolor artist, so I've already painted paintings, which I know won't translate as well, but for the cause, just for exposure, going to submit that as well as a more, I think, pragmatic pair for each. But no, I just love it. I feel like having a cause, effectively, or trying to reflect kind of their heart and their spirit for good in these shoes, which is such a special chance. So grateful for the opportunity. Love seeing all of the creations so far from our community. I am learning Photoshop as I go to do this because my skills are basic, but I had a few breakthroughs that I actually wanted to share on the timeline so that we can get more people to submit. Because hey, if I could do it, other people could do it. So I want to make sure I could share that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the watercolor version and the pragmatic one. And hey, you never know. Maybe Jada can make some magic happen. We could try to figure some things out if that's the one that the guys should go with. So super excited, super excited. Rose, when it comes to your thoughts though on like learning Photoshop, because you do a great job of learning and then keeping notes and teaching yourself things. Do you have any tips for those people who are new out there or just getting started with this stuff?
Oh yeah. So I fumble around, I try, and then I watch a YouTube video or two, and then I actually go to Chat GPT. So when I actually learn the terms to use, and then of course like YouTube videos aren't as clear, then I go to Chat GPT and be like, all right, how do I do this? How do I use, is it the clipping mask? And then how do I do the blend options? And I sound like I know what I'm doing, but I actually ask Chat GPT to give me the explicit steps. And then when it's still not clear, I'm like, nope, I didn't get it. Can you just break it down one more time? And then I have a Notion notebook that I've been keeping so that I don't have to ask ChatGPT over and over if I want to do it again. So I think there's like a method to the madness, and you just have to kind of give it a go. And there are friends out there that can help you, I realize. But I also like to dig. I like to try to see if I could figure it out in my own way, because then it sticks as well.
Yeah, definitely take your own approach to learning. I don't know if I can do the Rose Jade approach because it is so smart and like it sounds like a college course that I was not prepared for. That like I was in the back of the class like snoring. But she is the A student, and that's this is really cool to see because I know you're gonna whip up something great, even though you said you're not that great at it. But I'm very excited. We also got Brongis up on stage. What's going on?
Brongis.
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Thanks for having me. I just wanted to say I'm not an artist. I don't feel like an artist. But I wanted to say that I'm really glad. I wanted to say thank you to Artifact and to Lockverse, of course, for this opportunity, because I think that it's really, really huge and amazing. And I talked a bit with Coco, and you cast pinned on top one of the design that he made. We were talking, and let's say that he convinced me to try to make a design. I'm not a designer. I always say that I'm not a designer. I just tried some months ago to make 3D art, so I'm a newbie also in 3D art. When I was younger, I tried Photoshop, but was a huge no for me because I couldn't, manage everything on Photoshop and so on. So I just gave up a long time ago. But I think it will be funny also to try. It's not, I don't have to submit something for sure, but I will try. I will try. I want to enjoy this challenge. So I will try something tonight or maybe tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see what my mind can create. So just wanted to throw some flower to say thank you for real, because I appreciate a lot. And also thanks Jada for being here and for, I don't know, saying your story. It was really an inspiration for me. And I'm really happy to hear more creators, the story, the backgrounds, and so on. So really thank you to you all guys. Really, really appreciate it.
Man,
Um,
Brong.
oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead, Jada. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna throw this out there, which I don't know if I'm messing up something about the rules. Let me know. But for people that have a hard time with Photoshop, because I also, for some reason, have a really hard time with Photoshop, Procreate is a really good option, especially if you have like an iPad to, draw on with the pen. That's what I use. So if you just like import the picture and draw over the top of it, that's what I do for all of my sketches. If Photoshop is just like not your cup of tea.
Thank you so much for this info. I will for sure try also Procreate. Thank you.
I wanted to add to that too. Actually, I'm not good at Photoshop either. So I mean, I'm kind of like okay with it. So I would also like recommend, if you find anything that you're comfortable with, use that. It doesn't matter what software you use as long as your ideas read. Yeah, I see my buddy here. My son agrees too. But yeah, definitely like don't think that Photoshop will get you, that win. Just think about like what you're just comfortable with, and if Procreate's great, which I know it is. I've seen people do some fun animations on it as well. Definitely use that as well. Yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, super excited to see what people cook up, because I think some of you guys already use Procreate, or we've had some of those 2D illustrators out there who played around with it at least. So definitely utilize that. Maybe it'll get you more in the artistic feel. I know Photoshop can be a bit more of a tech heavy tool, it feels like sometimes, but let's keep it moving. We got Memory on stage, who put out a bunch of dope versions. We got a couple pinned up at the top, but Memory, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Say we are chosen and we did have like a text or icon element. Jada, would you just need like a Illustrator vector file that you can send to your vinyl plotter that you use for the stencil, or how does that work?
Yeah, that would be great if that could be sent out along with it. A lot of times I kind of have to improvise and draw over it or whatever, find a way to make it a stencil. So yeah, if you have the vector files, that's always appreciated.
Cool. Thank you.
Memory just trying to earn brownie points. This man, I see what you doing, bro. Don't think you slick. You got good designs, but don't think you slick. But no, that's actually.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I've learned a lot from this space and specific design things that I wish I had known in the beginning, but it's all good. Like Johnny said, designers gonna improvise at all times. So.
No, but you bring up good points. These are things that I think some people might not think about until it happens, and then you've got to deal with Jada being sad that she's got to try to redraw your specific logo that you you made. But Memory, any thoughts after listening to this convo? Are you gonna try and put out one last revision or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't even touched CJ's design yet. It's good that I didn't, because there's black and gold. I think I got some stuff cooking up with that coming out, but I may do one more of CJ's or Bijan's. I like his silhouette a lot better. I don't know why. It speaks to me. It's more. I played soccer for 13 years, football. Everyone else in the world. So I'm very I like the sleek European looking silhouettes. So.
I love it. I was gonna say it's gonna be cool to see what you whip up. I know we're not gonna discuss the difference between soccer and football, because we are talking about American football players, and we know how that goes. But yeah, man, it's gonna be super cool. This is a lot of fun. I know people like you and Johnny and others that have some of these Photoshop and design skills. You are definitely ready, prepped for it, I would say. And I think to Brongis is to encourage people like Brongis and Rose, who are kind of saying just go at it. I think you're underestimating how good a design can be, and how it only just takes one. You can make something cool, and it can be the one that hits that person, and they just want to have that one. So I think it's definitely good to make sure you just go out and do it.
Yeah, if you guys have any like Photoshop specific questions, I've been doing Photoshop since I was 13, and just tag me in the creators thread or tag somebody. Like, if anybody has a question, like, the community is more than happy to help. Same with our 3D team.
Yeah, look, if you want the best detail review, I would send it to Memory. I feel like this guy could pick out misplaced like pixel from a mile away, and yeah, that dude definitely has an eye for detail. So hit him up, hit him up. But y'all, we have been going for about an hour. I really appreciate it. This has been a great spaces, and Jada, right, and everybody, thank you guys for jumping in, because it was definitely a lot of fun. I think lessons to be learned from this if you want to go and get a W. You know, this is going to be a big challenge. Once again, you got a chance to have your shoe designed, put onto one of the top athletes right now in the NFL. That's going to be during one of the probably most viewed games of the year. So it's like, this is the time to just put a quick design together and see if you can change your little trajectory. So Jada, do you have any last comments you wanted to add in?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Well, how about this? Give us some, if you got any artistic or creative advice. We always usually ask for some little wisdom from people before we go. So if you got anything like that for the creators, I know they would appreciate it.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the one main piece of advice I usually give to people about, shoes and, if someone's gonna start painting shoes out there, or creating shoes, is just to like really take your time on the taking good pictures of it, making, taking time to make videos and like really put not an insane amount of time into your content, but like really put thoughtful time into it, because you could post a 4K video and people will just be like, whatever. But like if you put time into it, like really, you just don't want to let a project go by that you're like, dang, I wish I documented that better so I could like, have more of a profile on it. So I guess that would be my advice. I don't know how that translates for most of the community, because it seems like a lot of this is like virtual, but yeah.
I would actually say that is probably some of the best and most needed advice that we've had, because there's a lot of creators who they do work on physical stuff, and they do have the issue of not posting things. We have had this conversation where people out here doing dope things and not posting stuff. I hope Yobs is listening, because that whole LV rap bike thing is still like got me so. This man, yeah. Anyways, I see Clue jumped in. Clue, I want to throw it to you real quick before we go. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, sorry to. I know you were about to hit the outro probably, but just a heads up to the Lockerverse fam. The Google Drive link is broken on the original tweet. So if you guys could post a new one, that'd be epic. But that's all. Good luck, everybody. I may or may not submit something, but love everything I'm seeing.
You just upset Fred's baby, Clue.
I know. He has something he wants to say. Sorry to interrupt. I'll let you keep going, Clue. Or are you done? Oh, he really wants
Don't let him go. That's the baby.
Okay.
That's what Nico said.
Okay. One thing I wanted to add real quick. Do we have a drop time? Like what's the absolute last moment we could submit? If because like I don't know about anyone else, but I tend to like to work till the very last second. But I also have a reason why you shouldn't do that. So what I wanted to say was, if we can get an exact time when we could submit, I would recommend everyone to try and submit at least an hour or two earlier, because after you submit it, you're going to probably go back to your finished piece, and then you might notice something that you can't, take back. So maybe you might still be able to fix it and then resubmit it, just as a emergency sort of like, a parachute, uh, to protect your protect your feelings in case you're just like, oh, if I had fixed that, oh, it would have looked so much better. Sometimes there's always that little tiny thing that, you can look at that, design and be like, oh, if I had only fixed that, at least if you submit it a little bit earlier, you might have a chance to do that. I tell my animators to do it all the time. Give yourself a bit of extra, time to work on these little things in case, something comes up. Yeah.
No, that's
So
a good tip.
Yeah, so if we know that time, yeah, buddy. If we sorry about that, if we know that time, that would be great if we could post that.
Yeah, so I pinned it to the top. It's the very first tweet now, and it's 11:26 at midnight Eastern time. So you can stay up all night. You and Nico, Fred, we can make sure we get it out to the last minute. Clue, we also did double check the Google Drive link. It's working for a few of us. If you need us to send it over, we'll send over those files. But I know you cooking for the other Murakami pill challenge that we got. But come on, man. I know you got something that you could whip up for this one too. So I'm not gonna push too hard, but I'm just saying it's a cool opportunity that you could be missing out on. No big deal. Just NFL players, yada yada yada. Jada just cooking up heat. No big deal. But all right, y'all. Let me thank Ryan and Jada one more time and all of you guys for jumping in and chatting. I don't want to leave with the last words, so I'm gonna have to give it to Franco. Franco, what do you have for us before we go?
Bro, you should have ended it there. No, I don't have really like anything really. Just I guess I think obviously thanking all the people involved in this. I think it's a really cool, really really unique and dope opportunity here for everyone really. From Jada to the Lockerverse team to obviously Region and CJ and also the people working here as well, like Cass and huge. Thanks to David. David was he played a very big role on getting some of these things locked, especially also along with Lockerverse to for the price of not just showing the designs on TV for millions of people, but also for the winners to get the cleat signed by the players and get them home. So that's pretty dope. And on the other side, I also loved what Brongis brought up, and also memory. I think it's cool that we have a community that can rely on each other for education. So I would say, as an advice, to don't miss that opportunity. You don't really need just like the to get official tutorials or YouTube tutorials when you can work with people that are literally doing the same thing as you for the same competition. So in this challenge, you have memory that he's pretty solid in what he can do with Photoshop. As he mentioned, he can help you out with some tips. And Brongis, for example, you're learning on this just as like me and other people, and we can rely on them. And then on next challenges, if memory comes asking for help, then we can help him. So it's all about that, to also try to learn and help each other and build a community that's pretty dope. And that way I feel that we're going to bring more people like Jada and Lockerverse and other brands to be like, damn, like these people are not just like looking to do something dope, but they also have a good vibe. Um, and it's just all about putting the focus on the artist for once. So yeah, much love to everyone. I wish you the best for this challenge. I cannot wait to see a bunch of stuff. And yeah, we'll probably be talking again about this. We will have a challenge, another space on Friday with Ferry to talk about the MKPL challenge, and we can definitely also touch on this if there are questions or anything in there. But hit us up if anything. We also have the Discord challenge for the creators. We have on Discord people active showing their designs, their work in progress, and questions. So you guys can also go there and hit us up. But that's really it, Cash.
Dope. Shout out to everybody. This is Dope Spaces. Shout out Lockerverse. Shout out Jada. Go do some cleats. TJ and Bijan need those cleats. Outro by Illa Orbis.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go down to where we go, where we